Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video, it's going to be the PvP R6 priority tier list here. So for this tier list today is purely for PvP content, which is like knockout, beat bout, point war, triple threats, and sometimes the warm-up match from time to time. So this will be the priority tier list, and everything here, every single Esper here we're gonna see is gonna be judging straight away at their R6 effect. So it's just the matter of, is it that important, or is it that have that important, like instantly rush to R6, or is it that not that urgent? It's like good to have, but you want to get the effect in the end, just that it's not in your priority list that high. Then the next one is not worth chasing. Is like, if you have it, it's good for like the hit system for knockout or some other system that related to Reso, but it doesn't really matter in the PvP situation in most cases. So let's say if that Esper is going to be very strong in RTA, but maybe it's not that strong in other content like knockout auto stuff, and then it will be a very niche unit that it might actually go for the not worth chasing, because we will surround more around knockout, beat bout, because that's the main income of our PvP content when you reach until endgame. We don't put RTA that high value. It's just because the warm-up match come back time to time, so it's not that often. So the higher rating for us today is gonna be knockout and beat bout. Okay, so today we're gonna have two participants in our tier list video today. First one is Chony, and the second one is King AZ. So Chony, can you introduce yourself?
What's up guys, it's Chony. Just like the last video, I'm here again. Hello.
Hi Chony. Then King AZ, can you introduce like yourself, like how good are you in your PvP content, like in knockout, beat bout, all those stuff?
I am Azzy. I'm a resident GM member. And beat bout I'm top 60, and knockout I'm top 64 right now.
Yeah, so for today, all our perspective is more towards high-end PvP, because every tier of range is actually different meta. So like let's say in the top end PvP, maybe a lot of Tolan, a lot of Wuyu, but maybe at the lower end or the mid end there, it's not that much Tolan or Wuyu. It's maybe more about TA. So every perspective have every tier have their own point of view. But for today's one, we are mostly looking at the high end of the PvP environment. Alright, so we'll go through one by one of the Esper, and I'll go the first one we're gonna talk today is gonna be Feng Shun. So Feng Shun here, in my opinion, because Feng Shun R6 effect will straight away grant you a shield and will dispel all the debuff when you have S3 available, and the moment you cast it, you'll get a shield and dispel. For me, I think it's good. It's really good to have a shield because it really increases the survivability. But because of the current new patches, it's like, let's say Artiar for example, will actually help Artiar to trigger his passive more often because of the shield, and the dispel might actually get countered by Tricky in a way. So I think it's important, but I don't think it's something you should actually rush for R6, right? So what do you guys think about it, Chony?
I personally think R2 is the perfect stopping point for function. That way you're not putting too much of your resources into something that doesn't benefit you that much in the end. I agree with everything else that you said.
How about you, King?
I also agree with Chony. The R2 is incredibly important, but the R6 is not as impactful as I would hope it would be.
But do you guys think the stats is important? Like, let's say go until like R4 or R5, the stats for some damage boost?
I personally only have him R3 by luck. I got into R2 and then R3 by luck, and then the rest is just divinates. You don't really need to have as many stats as you can on the function, to be honest.
So do you think we should put it at not that urgent or not worth chasing for the Reso?
Not that urgent.
Not that urgent.
Not that urgent, yeah.
Okay.
Only because the stats that he gets are good, and his 4th resonance is increased damage when not in his turn, which is still not bad, but not the most, not something I would rush for.
Yeah, agree. Okay, the next one is Embla. So Embla, you find Embla as a very strong DPS Esper in the PvP content. But I think the R6 really impacts a lot because especially you pair her with Fushi, which is you have to pair her with Fushi, pair Fushi with her in PvP content, or else Embla is basically useless without Fushi in PvP. So the R6 here makes the stack reduce to 5, which is basically very good synergize to trigger for Fushi. I feel like R6 Embla is a must to if we really want to play a Fushi Embla combo. Or is that R6 Reso not that important in
PvP? If you want to use Embla in PvP, in my opinion, you need that R6. One, it's also the 5 stacks, like you said before, and 2, it allows it so that it can just spread and explode more and more each time. And it's just a lot of damage that you miss out without the R6.
How about King?
Yeah, if it doesn't explode fast enough, you feel like you might be missing out on a lot of damage.
Okay, so I think we all can agree with Rush.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, next one is Brewster. So Brewster R6 here will make his bullet pew pew even higher damage by 10% when the enemy HP is higher than Brewster, which kinda usually is because Brewster is pretty paper cannon. And then we'll also splash one more bullet to other targets. So in my opinion, this is something good, but I feel like it's not that important in terms of like the splash damage thing in our current PvP meta. It can be used in triple threats as a sub team or KO as your 4th or 5th team, but I don't think it's that impactful for the splash damage in my opinion. So for me, I would say it's not worth chasing. It's just because if I have the R6 effect or something like that, it will be not that high priority in my list.
Yeah, I can agree because R6 Brewster, you're not really using him in PvP that much. Especially in the main 2 that you said, KO and Beat Bout. A lot of time he just doesn't do enough in his kit to be worth chasing that R6. So yeah, I would put it in not worth chasing.
He also has a rough time with certain Espers like Momo because he plays outside of his turn. He just gets countered really badly like that.
Right.
Or even Anna. Or even Anna.
So not worth chasing.
No.
Okay. Then the next one is gonna be Liam. So Liam here, the R6 effect will make his S1 able to recast another S1 pursuit attack, which basically makes his damage from 2 hit increase to 4 hit in a way. So it's a DPS increase. It does help in DPS output. I'm not sure like is it that important to rush until R6 to make Liam work. I personally feel like Liam will already be workable in PvP content the moment you reach like R2, and then the extra stats helps the R6 effect here will help increase more DPS, but is that a game-changing priority effect? So I'm not sure about that part. So how about you, Johnny?
I've personally not used Liam below R6 in PvP. The thing is, he works because his main role in PvP right now is to give Momo more turns to get more stacks. I don't think R6 is too important, but it also does boost your damage quite a bit. So I think it's not that urgent, but it's still quite good.
King?
I've actually used him a lot recently, and I do use him on like the Momo Wuyu teams. He does a lot of healing because he does the extra hits as well, which has proven to be pretty effective. But I've also seen him do a lot of damage on his own without having someone else.
So
is he worth rushing? Probably not.
Probably not.
But he's not bad either.
So it's somewhere like it's a very good R6 effect, but not really that urgent. So it's like somewhere middle here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, the next one is Fushi. So Fushi, I think we can agree with that. Fushi have to be R6.
Has to be R6.
To enable the Embla comp. Unless you're like putting Fushi in the Wuyu comp just to be a defender role to benefit Wuyu, or else I think we can agree like you have to rush Fushi R6 if you want to use him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, straight up. Okay, then for TA here, TA actually got what's that called? Got outpower or outshined by other speed leader at the beginning when Tolan came out or like Chu Yao came out because of the speed lead, a lot of use. But I feel like TA's value actually went up higher now because we are needed more team. Let's say in triple threats, let's say in knockout, we needed more team, and speed leader is always a juicy leader buff we can get. And recently I saw more people are using TA in the high-end PvP, especially in like top 20 in knockout or top 20 in beat bout, are using R6 TA to counter Wu Yu team, which is actually pretty surprising to me. So I don't really use that combo, so I can't really comment much about it. But how do you guys think about the TA R6 effect now in the PvP?
I honestly don't use it too much outside of KO.
Okay.
Because I don't have enough resos on my Lian or Sakura to really afford doing that without just killing my team. So I have seen it in like pretty high end. You see it starting around like top 60 beat out. You see some tier lead or just tier inside the Wu Yu teams. It's to swap Sakura with your Wu Yu because she's always at the bottom.
Yeah.
AP wise, she has no speed, and just that alone is actually pretty good. But I don't know if it's worth pushing to R6 purely for that.
How about King? Do you have any point of view about that?
So I have used this team in beat bout, and it works really well. I'd actually say it's good to R6 her, only because of the way beat bout and knockout work with the power. That being at R6 means she'll outspeed another Tai that's lower than her, which in any kind of speed contest also helps a lot. Plus the actual changing of how, instead of absorbing, it's just straight up and down, so you don't have to actually land the absorption to gain AP. It just pushes yours up and pushes theirs down.
True. So from what you said, I feel like you more land towards around Rush R6, right?
I would now if she was a banner. Unfortunately, she's not.
I see. So if you have the chance to actually rush for TR6, you would do it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we can put it at Rush R6. Okay, then the next one, I think Lian, we can straight up go to Rush R6. It's just a game-changing Esper in the game for PvP content. The Dream Bubble instantly at the start.
It's so good.
And you need her to enable Wu Yu team in a way, or else Wu Yu team can actually get melt before Sakura take an action.
Put Sally up there too.
Alright, so let's go through the Sally. So Sally works like Lian, but it's a different buff. So Lian one is the bubble buff, which applies the miss rate and also healing on hit per turn. And then Sally's one is at the start of combat will reduce damage taken by 25%, and when they take their action, they will dispel the buff of them. I do feel like it's also very important buff. So I would say it's Rush R6. So Johnny and King?
Yep.
Yeah. It's so much damage mitigation and it's just really nice.
Okay, Donna, because free Esper will instantly put it at Rush R6, and especially Donna is one of the meta Esper in our PvP. So we'll just put it there because it's a free Esper.
Yeah.
Alright, Sakura. So Sakura here, the R6 effect is getting more bonus stats for your team. It's like increasing attack, defense, and some speed when they take their action or taking hit. And it is something good for some stats boost, but I feel like isn't that important. Let's say we most of the time we put Sakura in the Wu Yu team. I feel like with R6 or not R6, R6 will help, but I feel like R6 is not the thing to make her useful. So for me, I'll put it at not that urgent. Or do you guys think that the stats boost is like very important to rush for the R6?
Wu Yu teams usually do last a while, especially if you're running with Sakura and Lian. So in a longer term fight, it benefits a lot. Like your team benefits a lot from her R6. So I do think it's a good idea to rush her to R6, but I personally don't have an R6, so I don't have much experience on that end.
How about King?
I'd say that she is kind of important at R6. Being at R6 for her, giving all those stats helps in a lot of fights nowadays, especially with all the true damage fighters, or just between Suju, Momo, gaining all those stats as much as they can, but also as a counter to an R6 Chuyao, because he decreases all their attack by 45%, and boosts it by boosts it by 50%.
Yeah. Yeah, so with that said, I think Sakuran can go for the Rush R6 tier. Okay, next one is Armir. So Armir R6 effect here will gain bonus 2 Z stack when after he casts S3. Then it will also apply a new effect of the Divine Help. So the Divine Help, I don't know, it will apply a new effect to the Writer of Resolve, which is the Pew Pew. Every Pew Pew there will inflict a disease effect that won't miss. I feel like it is a Rush R6 is because if you are using Armir to fight, let's say like Sakura team that have Jinchu within it, the disease will come in handy, or else they will just keep on healing back and doesn't really does amount of damage because they heal back everything. Because the disease from his default kit is just S3, but all the Pew Pew here will not apply disease. So I feel like the disease is important for Armir. So I would say it's Rush R6 for me.
Me too.
Yeah, it's quite solid already, even before R6, but I do think R6 is very important to Rush too.
Okay, the next one is Valeria. So Valeria here, after taking her turn, then she have a 30% chance of gaining an extra turn, which makes her able to keep on stealing turn and keep on nuking your team in a way. I don't have R6 Valeria, so I didn't taste like how strong Valeria is in PvP content. I do see people say that Valeria in PvP content R6 is a massive DPS. I'm not sure about that, but do you have any perspective on that part, Johnny?
No, I haven't really seen her that often in PvP, and I also just don't have her at all, so I don't have anything to say about it.
How about King?
I used to see her in the Mavis comps up until the Mavis comps stopped existing because Amir was such a counter and Sakura came into existence. I just don't think Valeria's damage is up to par with others that exist.
Mm-hmm.
Even her buff to reduce the damage kind of doesn't matter as much anymore because there's a lot of multi-hits or true damage that just goes through it.
True. So, do you guys think it's not that urgent or not worth chasing?
Not worth chasing.
Okay. Okay, Camille here, we just put it at Rush R6 not because she is good in PvP, it's just because she's free. Alright, then Ollie.
I feel like I feel like you need to make a tier specifically for bad free-to-play experts.
Okay, never mind.
Well, there's only the two.
I'll put one more at the bottom. I'll put one more here at the bottom. Free. Okay, that's all. But Madonna, I think we can just still maintain at Rush R6, right?
Yeah, he's a good one. I like it. I really like his R6. He's also pretty good in knockout now, so yeah.
Okay, Ollie, R6 effect, when he crits, no matter what skill, as long as he crits, then the passive effect will reduce by 1 turn. In my opinion, it's something good if you, let's say you combo Ollie with Mavis. It's actually a disgusting combo in knockout and beatbout, and also in... But it won't perform that well in, let's say, in RTA, because we know who to target, unlike the stupid AI. So for me, I'll put Ollie at not worth chasing, just because like R0, I'll be also using Ollie as a speed leader. But just that, I don't think that CD reduce matters too much in the PvP. But how do you guys think about it?
Yeah. I feel like he does his job already at like R0 with some divs or something, I don't know. But he does not need R6 to do his job.
I like his R2 over him just being R0.
Yeah, like the not-worth chasing is still covering the Reso. It's just that the priority of the tier won't be that high, right? It's like not that urgent or not worth chasing.
Not that urgent.
Not worth chasing.
I think it's still good, but
I think it's still good.
Wild.
What's the R2 effect of Ollie again? Increases
the
2 turns invincibility.
yeah, I think it can go up to not that urgent. It's like, yeah, I think it can go up to not that urgent. Okay, then the next one is Abigail. So Abigail R6 here resets all the ability cooldown for that target, not specifically to one element. It can be any element, and then but it cannot affect on Abigail herself. And then the R2 here will reset all the ability cooldown for all Infernal Esper except herself. So Reso wise, I think the R6 effect is massive, but I feel like isn't that impactful in knockout and beatbout. I do feel like it will be good in point war, especially in Chloe team, and RTA, especially we are able to target which Esper we want to revive or reset their CD. So for me, I would still say is somewhere not that urgent to R6 in my opinion. But yeah, Chani?
We haven't really seen a team where she shines a lot, but I can't really say too much on whether her R6 is like that important to go for, but I do think it is quite good. Right now, I'd say it's not that urgent to push for R6, but it is quite a solid R6.
King?
I've been testing her R6. It's a lot of fun in RTA. But as you said, in knockout and beatbout, you can't choose who she really affects, so it's hard to plan a team around having her in it when you have no idea what they'll actually do. So I don't know if it's super urgent, but maybe we'll see after this RTA season how it goes.
Yeah, so not that urgent for now, but we do see the potential to rush R6 in her kit for now. Okay, Sienna. So Sienna R6 here will make the stun extend to 2 turns instead of 1 turn. And Sienna now have a leader buff, and Sienna Divinate is able to dispel buff, which makes her as a dispeller, buffer, and also a controller, which makes me feel like Sienna R6 is actually good, but I don't think the 2 turns actually matter that much. It's just because like we have a lot of Esper that immune to stun now, let's say like Jin Chiu R6, or let's say like Feng Shun base kit, all those stuff. So I feel like the extend 2 turn doesn't change too much because we can dispel it easily. So I would say it's not that urgent.
Yeah, her R2 feels more like an R6 effect than the R6 effect feels like one, you know what I mean? The 3 turns of her buffs is just so powerful, but I don't think it's worth chasing for her R6.
Oh, you think it's not
But
worth
it's
chasing?
nice to have.
Okay. How about King?
Yeah.
Her R6 is okay, but as you said, there's a lot of counter stun effects. Like, Chu Yao just kind of stops her a lot really quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's worth chasing, but her R1 is the best resonance.
The R1 is what?
20% AP push on her basic.
Oh, yeah, the R1 is very good for that then. So
It's
not,
to her and someone random.
so it's not worth
It's pretty
chasing?
good. Nah.
Yeah, not worth chasing.
Okay, Fatal Sister, after since the revamp, as long as Fatal Sister die, it will auto cast the revive without using the skill itself, which means it's a separate cooldown. And just because of that, she will be the best revive meta Esper if there's really one, and I do feel like it will have one in some time, because there's no specific Esper that actually counter revive yet, not Petros. But yeah, so I would say Fatum R6 here will rush R6 for me. I do use R6 Fatum Sister in knockout a lot, and I beatbout I'll see some potential, RTA I see some potential as well. So for me, I'll put it at rush R6.
I agree.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah.
She's
Okay.
been really fun to use now.
Very crazy. It's like very too good. Okay, next one.
And you
Chuyao.
get a free one. And you get the free one from the Fusion.
Yeah, Fusion got free. Loyalty box, we can get it for free as well. Just free. It's like a free Cecilia for for everyone. Okay, next one is Chuyao. Chuyao R6 here, as long as there's an enemy inflicted with debuff or their debuff got extended, then they are reduced their attack and reduce the shield strength and cannot be resisted. So I think we can straight up to put R6 is just because we have a lot of Esper is using shield. Let's say like Jin Chiu, let's say like Lian, this kind of meta Esper they're using shield, and the attack actually reduces a lot of things as well, and this thing cannot be resist, so it's straight R6.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an easy rush. I worked really hard to get his R6.
Easy rush. Okay, Lucas R6 here. So is all AP reduction effect will change to AP absorption, and also his kit is basically surrounding about more control like stun or more basically AP control stuff. So in my opinion, I think it is not that urgent in terms of Reso, but it's free, right? So we'll take it as R6.
He is free.
I would say it's not good. He is not good in paper, but his rival rune makes him actually faster than TA. So let's say we are fighting in like a speed comp, we are fighting with speed, and we have the same like TA and TA, R2 Eton, R2 Eton, and you're putting a Lucas in actually outspeed the enemy. Just because of that, I would say Lucas should go to R6.
Yeah, he's a completely free R6 D6. That's like so much heat as well for your KO. So it's just a lot of benefit for what he is. I think he should rush to R6.
King?
Yeah. I mean, being a free Esper that's faster than Tai especially, but also has a lot of AP down and stun effects.
Yeah.
It's really good.
The rival rune just makes the bonus for him even better. Alright, Sujie, R6 effect, I think we can just straight up put the R6, right? The spread,
Yes.
the effect of revive. Oh my god, this is the game-changing Esper in the game. Okay,
He's kind of playable under that.
Yeah.
Really hard.
It's a both new Esper, like R5 Sujie vs R6 Sujie, different Esper at all. Okay, next one is Jinchu. So Jinchu R6 here will mix his Intimidate forever with him, so he doesn't need to recast S2 to get that effect. It is a double-edged sword now, because it is a very, very strong Esper. But because of army exists now, it kind of make the effect not that good now, just because you can instant always trigger for it. So yeah, I'm not sure should I put it at R6 or not, but I don't think that because of army situation we should lower down his value. So I would say I would put it at rush R6.
Yeah, he's so powerful, being like all that true damage, especially if you pair him with Chuyao at R6. He's just he's basically a solo DPS carry at that point. He's good against the Wu teams, he's good against most teams in general, so I'd say rushing to R6 is a good idea.
Key?
I do too, because him having Intimidate at the start of every battle makes him really tanky, but it's also what gives the immunity to stun and sleep to others and himself.
Oh,
so
right,
it's kind of important.
Yeah. So I think we can't judge the value of GQ lower down just because army exists. I think overall the value is still overshine than the counter of army. Alright, so midway we have a wild Gabriel just came into the recording here, so we'll continue with this recording with Gabriel together. So for players who are in server 1 to server 2, you will know Gabriel at a leaderboard ranking. For those other server there, Gabriel is one of our top like 1 to 5 player in the PvP content, so he will provide us a more better point of view for the R6 Esper. Alright, so for the next one is going to be Haley. Haley R6 effect here is when Haley takes a hit, it will inflict Molten Horde to the attacker for 2 turns. Then Molten Horde in PvP content, it actually expired the enemy equipment set. So it seems very good on paper, but I don't have an R6 Haley, so I have not much experience for Haley. So for my own usage of the Haley, I'll just put Haley in a, let's say, Wu team. Basically, that's all, as a defender role. But for other cases, I don't use Haley at all. So for my opinion, I would say it's not worth chasing. But how do you guys think about it, Johnny?
I'm also the same as you, where I just haven't seen it. A lot of people think R0 is all you really need for her because she's a mainly PvP Esper and she does her job there. But the thing is, like, we just don't see her enough to really judge it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How about Gabriel? Do you use R6 Haley?
No, but I've seen, like, you know, the mega whales that have R6 Haley not even using it at all, so I would say not worth chasing at all.
King? King, are you there?
He fell asleep.
Hello, King?
Oops, sorry, I was muted.
It's his turn now. His turn to ditch me.
Hilarious.
So, in your opinion?
I don't have her R6. I don't have her R6, and I probably believe she's not worth chasing, but I do want to see it happen one day.
Yeah, on paper it seems very interesting, but we have no idea like how good is it going to be. But yeah, so for now we'll put it at not worth chasing. Then the next one is Ethan. So Ethan as one of the most important Esper if you're fighting in a speed fight. So R6 effect here, when enemy get the AP push, then your all ally will get 50% of it. So if they get 10%, you get 5% for free. I think it does come in handy, especially in like speed fight, the AP push will benefit. So for me, I'll put it at Rush R6. But how do you guys think about it?
Yeah, if you're at similar speeds but they're slightly faster, your Espers will still get to that like max AP as well at the same time as the enemy. So I do think it's a good thing to have. He does most of his job already at R2, but R6 is really nice. I'd say Rush R6, but maybe like at the bottom of Rush R6.
How about Gabriel, your favorite Esper?
Is there like a rush R2? Because I don't think you really need to rush R6. You just need that buff for your allies in the beginning.
So in that case, it will be not that urgent.
Yeah, that works.
How about King?
Yeah, I think he only really needs R2, but his R6 does help in some instances, so it's kind of nice.
But not that high priority to rush for it.
No.
Okay, then it will be not that urgent. Okay, then
Yeah, long ago, back in the days when your AP pushers were APing up your allies,
Yeah.
he was, he was good. But nowadays, it's more about AP down.
more about AP
making
down.
allies take turns. Yeah, so
Yeah, agree.
R6 is not urgent.
Okay, now it's Nama. So Nama, when he reached the maximum stack of the Burning Sun, when he's R6, then it will instantly cast the S3. It is very good. I do see some showcase about him performing his RTA, which is very interesting. But just because Nama is a one-hit Esper now, it doesn't cast multi-hit, and a lot of our Esper now requires multi-hit to actually deal good damage. So for me, I'll lean towards not worth chasing just because he's not suitable in this meta. Not because he's not good, just in the meta now I don't feel like it's worth chasing for it. Chani?
Yeah, his R6 is like a worst donor R6.
Worst on R6.
So I don't think it's worth chasing, both because it's all one hit and he doesn't really gain a lot of like turns or more hits or anything with R6, so I don't think it's worth it.
Okay, Gabriel?
Yeah, not worth it at all. He heals the enemy.
He heals the enemy. King?
I've never used him, but I don't think I've ever seen him either. Not
Alright.
worth it.
Okay, the next one, Gaius, our Thunder God, which R6 effect makes his Thunder landing from 5 increase to 6, which is good on paper. It does increase the DPS. I feel like it's less frequently used in our current PvP meta, but he will be a good like DPS slot when we're using like the end of the triple threat. We're out of DPS, then Gaius will come in handy. In Knockout, I don't even use Gaius at all, so I only use Gaius in triple threats as a folder. Yeah, that's my point of view. So I will put it at not that urgent, or not even not worth chasing in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't see him in PvP that much, other than like the KO match teams that you see that are just all R6. And that's not really their choice, it's the matchmaking making it for. I don't think it's worth R6 in my opinion.
Gabriel?
Yeah, I think Gaius's era died when he turned bad into a bad character. So yeah, not worth chasing.
The story. King?
Gaius era died when Anna came out, okay, bro? Let's be real.
So not worth chasing.
No.
Okay, Ife. Even though Ife changes, the effect is more towards to PvE, and the R6 effect here makes her T-Wave instantly trigger the poison effect for 1 turn. Then the other effect, like let's say R2, will instantly trigger all the poison stack on that target with AoE. It is very good, but I feel like it's more towards to PvE effect. So in terms of PvP, I would say we can all agree to not worth chasing, right?
Never.
Yeah, I wish she was good.
Yes.
Yes, not worth chasing. Okay, Leora. So Leora R6 effect here will make her go into War Godness mode forever, and then some other extra effect from the Reso, which I don't think it matters a lot as well. So for me, it's not worth chasing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yep.
Okay, Matteo. So Matteo here as well, the R6 effect gives him a standoff when he reaches a certain stack, but just because it's not really used in a lot of PP content, so it's not worth chasing.
Nope.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Then for Elaine R6 effect here will make her able to go into Night Godness mode forever, which means every time she will be in stealth mode, and then she can transfer debuff and also increase the enemy miss rate. In RTA, I think sometimes people play it like, let's say Elaine plus R6 plus Iki, so become a stealth mode combo. But other than that, like, let's say most of the other content in PvP isn't that mainly used, right? So not worth chasing for me.
Yeah, not worth it.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a turn.
Doesn't even take a
in
turn.
PvP.
Nope.
Alright, next one, Ophelia R6 effect here, max pursuit time increased to 4 turn. I think this doesn't really change her situation as well in PvP content. Even in triple threats, I don't use Ophelia at all.
No. Ophelia hasn't seen the light of day in years.
Sadly, such a beauty, but can't really use her. Then the next one is Clara R6 effect here, increase the healing time change to 3 times. So the S1 here, instead of 2 healing trigger, it will trigger 3 times, which means it can dispel 3 debuff in a way. And then the other Reso will increase like immunity, and then the R4 here will increase some base defense, which I think is good. Is the R6 effect that important? I do see some player discuss about it, which is pretty impactful for this spell. But for me, I feel like it's not that urgent in my part. But how do you guys think about Clara? Johnny?
I don't really think she's worth to go for R6. There's so many more like better AP pushes and healers nowadays.
So for you, you go for not that urgent or not worth chasing?
The extra healing is nice, but I don't think it's worth chasing.
Okay, how about Gabriel?
Yeah, not worth it. Agreed.
King?
I'd argue it's not that urgent over not worth chasing. I think it's kind of decent at some points in time because of 3 dispels is nice, but the healing is also pretty good.
So do you guys think we should let it or not that urgent or not worth chasing? Johnny and Gabriel vote for not worth, is it?
Not worth chasing.
Not worth chasing, yeah.
Alright, so we have 2 votes there, then we'll land it there. Okay, then for Armored R6 effect here, as long as there's an ally HP below than 30% if it's attacked, then it have a 30% chance of counter attack for that attacker with that to that attacker. So it's basically a free Avatara. It is good. I feel like this effect is very good, but I feel like it kind of outshined by a lot of our current new Esper now. So I feel like it's not worth chasing for now.
Yeah, it feels like Lian's bubble healing with extra steps. So it also has RNG with it, so it's really just it's nice to have, but I don't think it's worth chasing.
Yeah, bro.
Agreed. Not worth chasing.
It's very not worth chasing. I even tried to use it against an Emir, and it really did nothing.
It really did nothing. Okay, the next one is Yamato. So Yamato R6 effect here makes his S3 gains an extra turn, so it can go S3 then go until S2. So it casts buff, then do AoE damage that dispel and also AP down them, and then you AP push your team. So I mainly see people use Yamato in a Wuyu team. I'm not sure if that R6 effect really matters that much for the extra turn. So I would like to hear a suggestion from you guys. So Chani?
I've heard and seen sometimes his R6 can be detrimental because he hits the other team. And if you're doing Wuyu versus Wuyu team, that's not great. But his R6 effect in pretty much everything else is actually quite nice. I'd say it's not that urgent because he's also very hard to get. So I don't know.
Yeah, bro?
I think he's not worth chasing.
Like, is there any...
As a defender, like for Wuyu, I think there's other defenders that are not gonna feed the enemy Wuyu stacks.
How about King?
I've seen him do good damage, but the methods of getting him is really bad right now. So wasting your time on club ripples or your ripple boxes feels really not ideal.
So
Or even like giving up your championship ripples to get an Yamato just seems like a really bad idea as well. So not worth it at all.
Okay. Right, the next one, Intisa. So Intisa here, R6 effect will make her attack up. Instead of herself, it will be an AoE attack up. I see people use Intisa in RTA. Some people, like a R6 Intisa, sometimes it will come in clutch. But I'm not sure is it that worth to going for it. For me, I will rate it for not worth chasing just because I don't use Intisa.
Yeah, I also don't use Intisa. I don't know if it's worth chasing. I don't care if it's worth chasing.
Yeah, I think she was good maybe back when Nuxie was dominating the meta, but now that she's not there and it's like evolved to a meta called Don't Feed Wuyu Stacks, yeah, I don't think she's worth chasing.
Yep.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. Alright, Yunchuan R6 effect here, he have an extra chance to block the damage when the enemy have third IC, but in my opinion we can just straight up put the not worth chasing just because he's not performing good in PvP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Jinyu Yao here. So Jinyu Yao R6 effect here, as long as your teammate gets like stun or auto stuff, your S3 your ability cooldown will reduce by 1 turn, which makes her S3 rotation faster to transfer the debuff, all those things. I think it's a good thing, but I don't know like how high the usage is in the current PvP meta. Is like Jinyu Yao still use that often to make her that urgent for R6. I'm not sure about that part. So for me, I don't really use Jinyu Yao that often now, so I'll put it at not that urgent. Chani?
Yeah, I haven't really used her much. I have her at like R2 or R3, so I don't really know how much of an effect her R6 has on the current meta. So I can't really say too much about it.
How about Gabriel?
Yeah, her era ended. I would say not worth chasing.
Not worth chasing or not that urgent?
Not worth chasing.
Not worth chasing. King?
Yeah, I like her R6, especially with all the Chuyas that are on Tyranny sets, but I also don't believe it to be worth chasing.
Okay. Next one is gonna be Yuran. Yuran here, after casting S3, you get a bonus turn, which makes your Yuran able to cast S2 as well. I know there's one player specifically likes Yuran a lot, and they will use Yuran a lot of cases. But in my opinion, I would say it's not worth chasing at all.
Yeah, I agree. That guy's my clubmate, and
Oh.
I don't see the benefit of Euron at all.
So
He does get through Sakura stacks.
Yeah, not worth chasing.
Okay, Changji R6 effect here will change the R3 effect before swapping AP. It will raise everyone's AP first, then only AP swap, which is very good on paper, and what used to be one of the meta Esper in the Exodia team. But I'm not sure in like the current meta, is Changji R6 still that value? I'm not sure about that. So I would like to hear some opinion from you guys. So Chani?
Yeah, I definitely see the benefit of R6. Because I have seen Wuya teams with his R6 and without his R6. And I'd say it's quite different in how he works. Because of the AP swapping and everything, it's similar to Tier once he has his R6. But I don't know, it's not too common, so I can't say too much.
Yeah, bro?
I would say like not worth chasing. Just a defender that's just like a one-trick pony with a long cooldown. I've seen some kind of like loops with him, and some people trying him with the new Abby skills, but it's after he does his S3, it's just it's not as good as before.
Okay.
Enemies have too much defense nowadays, and he depends on enemies having like less defense.
I see.
To do
and
damage.
high HP.
And high HP. So not worth chasing.
No.
Okay. Iliad R6 effect here will make his S3 the effect that can CD up to maximum amount, which is very good, that cannot miss and cannot be resist, so it's a sure hit on R6 effect. It is a very strong Esper in RTA, and he have a leader buff of triple threats. I have no idea like is it that useful, but he have a triple threats leader buff. And personally, for me, in my own opinion, I would not use Iliad in like knockout in beatbout as well. But I do see some player use Iliad and they say it is good in knockout and beatbout. I'm not sure about that part. So for me, I would say is not worth chasing. But how do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I think the long-term sentiment for his R6 is that it's really only good in RTA. Because you have less Espers and you're basically shutting out half the team with Elliot. But outside of that, it's quite hard to use. You have better controllers, so yeah.
How about Gabriel?
Maybe he is good and he's not bad. He's more of like a luxury Esper. Like once you've already, fulfilled your base core Espers, he's more of like a cherry on top. Maybe like not that urgent, but he does have some uses. Like in rival runes, he has a very fast speed. So yeah.
How about Cake? Do you have any opinion about Iliad?
I love Elliot. He's so good at R6. He gets through Leanne, he gets through Sakura really quickly and just stops them from having any of their abilities. And he strips their immunity, which is important because and it's guaranteed it'll happen. So.
Yeah, he's guaranteed. But in your point of view, do you feel like the Iliad should go for the Rush R6 tier or the not that urgent tier?
I think it's not that urgent because Gabriel's right. There are others you could have before him, but he's not bad.
Okay, then it will land on not that urgent. Then Hilda, R6 effect, which everyone knows that, which is at the start of combat, will get deep sleep at instantly. So when they take the action, if enemy is faster than you, they take the action, they will have a chance to actually sleep and get poison stack as well. Even though that the current meta, let's say like Wuyu team, they don't really care about the sleep part, and we have like Feng Shun to counter the sleep part. We have Jinchu's passive that doesn't sleep at all. I feel like it fell off, but I still feel like as a sub team, as for beatbout, as a sub team in KO and sub team as a triple threat, it still come in value. So even there's a lot of counter now. From my perspective, I will still put Hilda at Rush R6. But how do you guys think about Hilda's situation for the R6 effect now?
Yeah, her R6 is still very powerful. You see her in your KO match, and if your team just doesn't have an anti-control, you just lose and you refresh past it. It's something that still prevents people from attacking you, sort of thing. But if they have the right cards, Hilda's just not as strong as before. I do think rushing R6 is a good idea, but it's lower priority than some others. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like R6 is still good, but still slightly lower than the other Rush R6 tier Esper, right?
Yeah.
How about Gabriel? Do you still think Hilda R6 is important?
No. I feel like there's way too many Espers that don't really care about Hilda's effect up. Like Chuya will just strip it. Sakura buff will negate it. It's just, I don't think it's that urgent, or maybe even not worth chasing. Somewhere between those two tiers.
How about King?
Not that urgent.
Not that urgent.
I'm on that it's not that urgent, but it is really good in triple threat because she can kind of, depending on the enemy matchup, as Chani said, she could kind of solo a team, and she's been on a lot of knockout defenses of recently because if you just don't have a counter on your team for it, then you probably will just lose or you just go past it.
So I think it's better we take the middle point, which is not that urgent, since that there's a very high ceiling and also very low thing. Like you can counter easily, but if you can't counter, it's basically a lose.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not that urgent. So for Archibald R6 effect here, when you cast your S2, it will reset the S3, and the S3 is where Archibald is crazy at, which is like AoE dispel, putting the specific buff that not able to let them cast their skill, which is very good on paper, even though it's one of the meta Esper used to be. But I would say it's not that urgent now, because for me, I use Archibald is just to share some damage for Mavis, for my Jinchu Mavis call. Basically that's it. I don't think that CD resetting is better that much. So for me, I would say is between not that urgent to not worth chasing. It's just that the effect is something good, cherry on top, but I feel like for my usage, I'll just use it as a damage sponge.
Archibald, I feel like doesn't do a lot, sorry. And in that Jinchu Mavis comp, if you want another damage sponge, maybe like for sharing damage, maybe JJ's a lot better. Archie kind of doesn't do a lot in his slot, at least from what I've seen. I don't think it's worth chasing.
Don't think it's not worth chasing. Okay, then Gabriel?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's worth chasing now, especially since meta kind of changed, like kind of kicked out Mavis. The Mavis era kind of ended, so he's not worth chasing.
King?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Then the next one is Farah. So Farah R6 effect here, when any enemy is inflicted by freeze, they will take extra damage, and the extra damage is 100% of Farah's attack. So I feel like the R6 effect is not needed, but since we have Slon in the game now, even though the Slon is not many people get yet, so Slon is not in our today's tier list today, but I feel like this R6 effect will have some potential if we really pair Farah and Slon in one combo, because Slon can provide freeze, then Farah will provide freeze and also extra damage. I feel like the effect is good, so I would say it's not that urgent just because of that. Johnny?
Yeah, I can't really say too much because it's just not that common, but there's so many Espers that have like anti-control,
right,
or just have immunity in their kids, stuff like that, where, I mean, although Farah does dispel that, it's very remediable kind of thing. I don't think it's worth like, or not that urgent.
Okay, how about Gabriel?
Yeah, I don't think she's worth it to chase, so she'll belong to not worth chasing.
I see. King?
Yeah, she's definitely not worth chasing. There's too much counter to her now.
Too much counter. Yeah, it's like the debuff, control debuff is very hard to use in the current meta. Okay, the next one is Genie. So Genie R6 effect here, before attack, she will gain a Chef's Zest, and if Genie have 3 stack of the intense hit, If Genie has the 3 step of intensity, then she'll get Chef's Zest. If not, then she'll get the intensity. Basically makes her stack even faster if you really want to use her, which is very good in point war, very good in RTA. Knockout and Bebop, I'm not sure, because some players still does use Chuyao plus Genie as a combo. I feel like the R6 effect, it will change the Genie impact, but I feel like it's not that urgent, but I feel like it's important, so I would say it's not that urgent.
Yeah, I'd agree with not that urgent. The thing with Beatbat and KO being like the priority here, her rival runes just aren't that good. You really need to like
Runes are bad.
go hard, get like D6, R6, D6 for her to be like even decent, in my opinion. So not that urgent is a good spot there.
How about Gabriel?
I don't use her at all. I think she's not worth chasing.
Gabbro missed that meta completely.
How about King?
Didn't exist for him.
Do you think Genie's Reso is worth urgently chasing?
Not even close.
Not
I
even.
used to use Jenny a lot, and then Icky came out, and she just kind of lost it. And even with Chuyao, I don't think she's worth using for that.
So which rank would you go for? Not that urgent or not
I don't-
chasing?
Not worth chasing. I'd get her to R2, and that's it.
I see. Okay, next one is Tricky. So Tricky R6 effect here, the HP reduction won't lower than 15% of the target's max HP, and this effect won't kill the damage. Basically, the passive effect here, the HP damage thing will just keep on damaging until the last little HP there. So it is something good, but I feel like if we use Tricky, actually one copy is enough just for the passive effect to trigger the dispels penalty. So for me, it's not worth chasing.
Yeah, I agree. His usage over his whole lifetime has just been to punish dispellers, and so I don't think he really needs too much outside of that first copy, like you said. So yeah, not worth chasing.
Gabriel?
I do use him a lot in PvP. But yeah, I'm not sure if like the Resos matter. Maybe not. I've had him R6 for a long time, so
So it's like default for you already.
yeah, I don't know what it feels like to have Russian R6 Tricky.
Suffer for
Must be
success.
Well, mine's only R2, and I can't even use him. I think he
Maybe
needs
I'd-
to be 4, not 6.
Yeah, maybe I'd put him on somewhere between not that urgent and not worth chasing.
Right.
Kind of biased. I like Tricky.
I'd say not that urgent.
Yeah. So
Only because his R4 is the HP cap reduction, which is really good for him. But the 6 is okay.
which makes his passive effects more effective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, then the next one is Mavis. So Mavis R6 effect here, upon remove the Graveless, it will dispel the stun effect from the target and then reset the cooldown ability for the the S2 of that target. So it is something good to have. I feel like it's not something to impact because we use Mavis is just because of her passive. Something extra, everything here is just something good for it. But I'm not sure about the stats on her. Is it that important? Like getting the HP from Reso 3 or Reso 4 matters a lot or not? But for me, I would say it's not worth chasing.
yeah, I agree.
Gabriel?
Yeah, I agree as well. One copy is good.
King, anything?
Yeah, she just needs to be R0, and that's it. R2 is, I think, her best spot for the cooldowns, but yeah, she doesn't need to be R6.
Okay, then the next one is Gabriel. So Gabriel here, even though she's kind of out of meta, but her rival rune and her divinity actually makes her kind of in the KO and beat bout just because of the immunity, able to block the tolerance S3, all those things. But I think that doesn't really affect from her Reso. It's mainly from her divinity and rival rune. So I don't think the Reso really matters too much but we I think most of us is with the R6 Gabriel scenario, right? So for me, I would say Gabriel will be at not that urgent or not worth chasing.
Yeah, the R6 is just
Immunity
what is it?
increase.
Defense up
Immunity
and
extend.
immunity to 3 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's even like it doesn't even benefit that much, especially with the current meta being a lot of dispelling buffs. So I don't think it's that urgent.
Not that urgent or not worth.
I don't even know if it's worth chasing.
Gabriel?
Can't believe.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth chasing at all. I think I used her for a week and then that's it. I did not like her.
How weird is it we live in a world where she's not free anymore?
So not worth chasing, King?
No.
Alright. The next one, Momo, our limited cat
R6.
Esper from Championship Esper. R0 is all you need, but the higher reso it is, the better it is, right? So rush R6
Yeah.
If you can.
if you
could
can.
afford
Yeah,
If you can,
Yeah,
then why
could
not?
afford it.
Take out
at whatever
take out a
cost.
loan or something. Sell a kidney.
Yeah, so actually R0 is workable, but the better it is, the higher reso it is, the better it is. Then Zora R6, I think we doesn't have to discuss about this. We can go not worth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Fatima. So it is a Esper that I don't know. It's like very strong on paper, but when you go into battle, I feel like the damage is very, very, very lacking. It's like tickling them, healing them. Not worth chasing for me. But do you have like any kind of point of view for your Fatimas or other people's Fatima, Chani?
No, I agree completely with you.
How about Gabriel?
For Fatima, I think she's worth chasing if you want to heal the enemy. So if you're the type of guy that wants to heal the enemy, go ahead and R6 her.
King? Do you have
My,
any?
opi- my opinion doesn't exist. I don't even own her yet.
Alright, not worth chasing it is.
Didn't even wish for her.
Same.
That's how bad she
I
is.
tested on other players' account. Then I'm like, what is this? Then I'm like, no. It is very good on paper though, but I hope they buff her. Okay, then
Actually,
Fumisuki.
she was worth chasing. She was worth chasing when you wanted to R6 Amir because you skipped her whole patch.
Yeah, skip the whole patch just to R6 army. It's like so big difference. Okay, then Fumisuki, R6 effect here will gain the bamboos throughout the combat, which is the effect that able to stun the target that cannot be missed and cannot be resisted, and will dispel 2 debuff from her at the start of the combat. So Fumisuki, I'm not sure because I don't own her, but I do see some players' point of view. Let's say from Bravel, they mentioned that Fumisuki is good, but I'm not sure how good is she or how is she performing now with like Petros, all those stuff. So do you guys have any point of view on Fumisuki? Chani?
Bravel held that Herpium for like 2 patches at most, bro. I don't think she's good at all. It's not worth chasing.
Gabriel?
I agreed. Not worth it.
Not worth it. King?
I've never used her.
Okay.
She's R0.
She's R0. Luis. Okay, let's put it here. Okay. It's so sad. It's like from the global opening until now. It's oh my god. Just sad. I hope they really buff him. Then okay, next one is height. I think height reso is kinda worth chasing in a way just because for the triple threats, all those stuff, but it requires too much reso for me. I feel like you have to go and do R6 just to make him usable in the current meta, so I'll let it on not worth chasing. But if you have a R6 height, I feel like it is worth using, but not worth chasing for those players who's not R6 yet.
Yeah, it's kind of like those snacks that aren't worth buying, but if they're there, you're gonna eat them. So like, you know, if you have him, use him. But if you don't, there's no point in chasing.
That's a beautiful analogy. I agree.
So not
worth
worth chasing. Okay, actually,
His R6
one of the out of meta Esper now, because it used to be counter speed com, but in our current meta, in Pi and PvP, mostly it's not about speed com now. So actually, AP push doesn't really matter too much in my opinion now, and the Reso doesn't really matter too much as well. So not worth chasing for me. Do you guys have any opinion for that?
Agreed.
Okay. Liling, even though after leading buffs is actually good on paper, like the AP absorb all those stuff, but like the multi-hit damage isn't high enough, not enough to kill Anna as well, and it will buff enemies Wuyu team, so not worth chasing.
Yep, not worth chasing.
Nope.
Okay, so Tangshan here for the R6 damage splash thing. I do see some video clips. Sometimes the Tangshan R6 bong. When it comes to RNG, it can actually bong your team until you die, as long you are not Anna or Wuyu team. I'm not sure like how profit is that com, but for me I would say it's not worth chasing just because I don't use him. But do you guys have any opinion for him?
For RTA, I saw him like a few times. Some people are using him to push to like masters. I do think he's quite strong on the damage front, but outside of that, you don't really see him that often. I don't think it's worth chasing.
Anything else?
Yeah, I don't think he's worth chasing either.
Okay.
Nope.
Biotina. So Biotina, some player use it as a Wuyu counter now in point war, but I think it only limit to point war because the R6 effect here ignore defense no longer have a good condition, so it will always ignore defense, which is very good counter for Wuyu. I'm not sure like is it usable in knockout when you let the AI to handle your Wuyu. So for me, I would say not worth chasing just because the AI is stupid unless we are using it by ourselves in point war.
Yeah, I just think there's better options to fight Wuyu team. I don't think it's worth chasing.
Same. I don't think she's worth chasing.
Okay.
I've never had
She chases
the opportunity
me.
to.
Every time like I get a legendary, it's by Ondina.
It chases you.
She needs
Yeah,
to
she
stop.
followed me for a while. I got her to 5 randomly through golds. I want to cry.
Alright, next one is Javid. So Javid here will get Scarlet Flame when after he casts S3, which is immune to stun and sleep, which is the same concept as Jinchu, but just because he doesn't get the effect at the start of combat, I feel like that part doesn't make him strong. So yeah, I would say it's not worth chasing.
Can you make a tier below not worth chasing and put delete from game?
Here, free.
Free from the game.
Alright, so yeah, not worth chasing, right? Okay,
Yep.
Yuhime, if we use Yuhime, right, it's like as for her speed lead only, for triple threat auto stuff, we don't use Yuhime because of her kit, we use Yuhime because of her speed lead, I feel. So for me, it's not worth chasing.
Yep.
Then
not worth.
Nora, I think we can just straight up put here, right? We don't really see any thing about Nora at all. Okay, then we're going into the shimmer part. Alright, so the first shimmer we're gonna go through is gonna be Una's. So Una's R6 effect here, when you S1 crit, it will get AP push. It is a very good effect in PvE. PvP is that Reso that important to let him take the first action first, because he's a meta in GVG or triple threats. He's a very strong speed Esper for knockout as well. But is that Reso that important? Like R2 or all those stuff? For me, I would say it's not worth chasing, but how do you guys think about Unas?
Nah.
I don't even have him. I don't know.
Gabriel?
Not worth chasing.
Not worth chasing.
Gabra refuses to R6 his.
Okay. The next one is Cecilia. So this Cecilia here we are talking is the R6 Cecilia. So the R6 Cecilia effect is when you revive, it will AP push 100% for all the ally of the revive Esper and grants everyone an attack up. And not to mention, you have the R2 effect to reset the ability cooldown when revive, and also the debuff all ability cooldown, right? And also when there's no ally revive alive, she will get speed. So just because from the R2 and R6 effect, I would say if you have the money or the luck to make her R6, I would say it's go to a rush R6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's also
Yeah.
reverbs, so it's if the reverb comes back,
So
it is plausible to get more.
So you need 7
Cecilias,
reverb.
but
7 reverb to
Hey.
trigger the R6.
you never know.
We have 2 now, and assuming the 2 reverb, you're picking Cecilia, not Anna or Tolan. Okay, the next one
Hey,
is
you can have
Tether.
them,
Tether effect is we will trigger a Pursuit S1 attack on the marked target, which is good for PvE, but PvP I don't think is really that impactful, so I would put it at not worth chasing.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Alright, okay. Nusi. So Nusi R6 effect here, taking a hit no longer consume the Paper Talisman. The Paper Talisman will always there and trigger the AP push for her. She used to be one of the meta Esper for PvP, but because of the multi the AoE hit, it will trigger Wuyu stack very easily. And other than Wuyu team, let's say we are fighting like Anna team as well, it will get counter attack until she die. So I'm not sure like how worth the Reso is for her effect. I feel like R0 is all you need if you really want to use Nusi, so not worth chasing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. Her R6 isn't even that strong.
Okay, then we have the new Esper, not new Esper, the new rework Everett here. So it basically is a new Esper now that is racist to other elemental class. So as long as you're not a Shimmer Esper, then you'll get a lot of different debuffs. So in my opinion, it's straight up to R6, but I do believe a lot of players don't find the value of Everett R6. So if you agree with that part, maybe you can like point out some of the Everett's benefit in your point of view, so they would know like why Everett's R6 is so strong. Like they don't feel like it's that strong, right? So Chani, do you have any perspective on Everett R6?
So if you're using your shimmers in beat path, for example, he gives his buff a first effect of any like ability just doesn't work. So stuff like dispels and stuff of that sort just doesn't work against shimmers. So let's say you're using like an Anna or Petros or something like that. It makes them a lot harder to kill. It also gives them a lot more benefits versus non-shimmer Espers. I feel like it's just harder to slot him on your teams at the moment, but he's still very, very strong and he's free. You're going to be farming Desolate Lands anyway, so you may as well get him to R6.
Gabriel?
What does the R6 do again?
R6 will share his effect to all his Shimmer allies. So let's say when you hit Elemental Esper, it will be 100 increase, another 100% crit. If you get hit by Elemental Esper, it won't crit. And then the first hit of the first ability effect applied, it will get blocked. So let's say like Suji spread, all those stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I rush R6. I think he's really good right now, in my opinion.
He's very good right now. He's a lot of fun to use in RTA.
So agree, rush R6 because it's free and also it's very, very strong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then for Petros, R6 effect here will increase your threshold to trigger the effect easier for the one that not able to share your healing, not able to share your buff, all those stuff. And then the other Reso basically makes your Petros easier to go into his like the D mode kind thing. I'm not sure about Petros because from my own usage in Petros, I feel like it's weak in my opinion because you need to fulfill the condition to let him go into demon mode, and in demon mode the damage doesn't seem that OP as well in my my point of view. So I only use Petros just to counter Mavis Comb because I want to go Brain Dead. So I would say it's not worth chasing. but do you guys have any point of view for Petros?
I've heard that he's very, very good in RTA.
Yeah.
Obviously his usage against like Mavis, Sujay and all that are very nice, just preventing them from saving the allies. That R6 lowering a lot of the thresholds for like going into his demon mode at like, I think it's like 50%.
Yeah.
And then preventing is like his other effects are like 30%. It's actually quite high of a threshold, so I do think it's worth going for R6 if you're spending that amount of money. But
do you think it's rush or
I think
not
it's
that
worth.
urgent?
He's probably rush if you're looking at the rest of the Shimmer Espers. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I think R6 is good, but I feel like maybe like the earlier Resos are fine. Yeah, R6 just lowers his threshold for turning into demon mode.
No.
Is it
Demon
from-
mode is R2, then R6 is the one that limit the enemy to share the buff and all those
It
stuff.
goes from what to what?
20 to 30.
From 20 to 30.
I don't think it's that urgent, so I would put him in not that urgent.
King?
Yeah, I agree. I don't own him, but I've played against him a lot, and I think his first two resonances are incredibly powerful, where the sixth kind of lacks because it's only 10%. And at that point, he's probably going to kill him outright if he's in demon mode anyways.
Right.
Yeah, true. Okay, then the next one is Champion. Champion R6 effect will give extra more stack. I don't think R6 really matters, so for me, I'll put it at not worth chasing.
Not worth chasing at all.
This is PvP, not PvE, so you're not really worried about it.
Yeah, not worth.
Even in PvE, it's not that good.
Okay, then the next one is gonna be Iki. Iki R6 effect here will always get the Ambitious Moon, basically always in stealth mode. Other than R6 effect, I would say it's already very, very good. So for me, it's Rush.
Rush.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Rush.
Yeah,
He's good
probably
in every resin.
one of the best R6s.
One of the best. Okay.
Probably on par with like Wii U R4.
Okay, next one is Anna. Anna R6 effect here basically is just an AP push when you trigger the when you have the rainbow seed. So I don't think that's what Anna needed for. It's not for the AP push, so I would say it's not that urgent. Do you guys have any point of view?
Yeah, I agree with that. Not that urgent.
I only think R2 is like what you would push for it, and that's as far as you would go.
True. Okay, Jiangjiuli R6 effect, when you go into demon mode and when you jump on that Esper, it will splash another damage to one random Esper, which is very good, especially Jiangjiuli, if strong enough, it can actually jump on Wii U and Wii U just become flat. So I would say it's Rush R6.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. He goes demon mode, he jumps once, kills Fushi, Wu. It's quite powerful.
He can
in
slash.
RTA, it's like 50% of your enemies are gonna get hit. So
Yeah. Okay, Raven. So Raven R6 effect here basically changed the orders. So instead of defend attack, then only defend down, it's defend down first, then only attack. So basically increase some DPS. I feel like the R6 effect doesn't impact that much, but I feel like the R2 in like PvP content, if you're really using her for cleave, maybe it's not that urgent. But I'm not sure like how high the current usage down in for Raven, so I would like to hear some opinion from you guys. So Chani?
I personally do like Raven a lot, but the meta has shifted quite a bit to where she's not as useful nowadays. Her R6, although it's nice, a lot of the meta just doesn't care for debuffs. I don't know if it's worth.
Do you think it's not worth or not that urgent?
It's quite nice to have, but I don't think it's urgent.
So not worth.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, bro?
I was gonna place her at not that urgent, but just to kind of counterbalance Chani's, I kind of want her in Rush R6 so that she'll land.
That's because you only need
Not
one
that
more.
urgent. I've experienced her in R5, and I use her as my main cleaver for like a lot of content.
Even like the
AOBD.
current knockout and beatbout?
Yeah, I usually use her on team 2 for beat bout, and then for knockout, I use her in that Chuyao Sally team.
So you already did
against
I would rush her to R5 probably for the stats, but maybe I honestly would rate her at not that urgent.
Yeah, but you just want to
R2 is
counterpart
probably
it,
good
so you
enough.
put it at rush. I see. How about King? How about you? What do you think about Raven?
I think Raven's really good, but I like her R2 is where I would rush her if I could. I think her R2 is where she really shines because she'll get the free attack. She'll attack.
Yeah. Similar
she
to Anna,
resets her
R2
ability.
is good enough.
Send her, yeah.
Like, so you guys
Yeah,
will rush
the triple
until somewhere R4, R5, but you won't rush until like R6. Okay. Tolan R6 effect here basically makes him the speed king, and he's already the speed king, but R6 effect makes him the king of all Tolan. So in terms of speed fight, I would say he will be the king. But what if other than speed fight? Do you think Tolan really worth to rush the R6? I'm not sure. So what is your opinion about Tolan R6?
Tolan R6 at least lets you ignore Ethan, but is it really that big of a problem to solve? I don't think so. I don't think it's that urgent. Maybe not even that way.
Yeah, bro?
If you had asked me 3 months ago, I would have said rush him.
Yeah.
Or not 3 months ago. I don't think he's worth rushing.
Maybe for like, beat bout and kind of rival runes modes.
Yeah.
You like with him, you're gonna force people to use like Ethan if you did have him R6. So R6 is still pretty good.
Even with Ethan, if they don't have Tolan, they just
They can't outspeed.
Yeah.
So
Would like if you're fighting R6, if you have an R6 Tolan against a non R6 Tolan plus Ethan, the R6 would go first. So you're almost like kind of forcing them to use their resources if they want to outspeed you.
Yeah, that's true.
So would you put it at rush R6? Or not that urgent?
Maybe not that urgent is fine because
Yeah.
Okay. Then will you?
When your urgents are urgent.
Actually, I maybe, but I'll get outnumbered. I'll probably rush him to R6 just to like not have to worry about using Ethan, or when you do pick him in RTA, it's like they give up on the speed race whenever the opponent has a R6 Tolan. So I would say maybe rush to R6 because he is a lot useful in rival runes modes and even in like equipment modes. You're forcing your opponent pretty much to not play first turn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I beat an R6 Tolan 4 times yesterday.
Okay. I'm outnumbered though, so probably not that urgent is where he'll fall.
Then would you put another urgent or rush R6?
I don't remember what her R6 effect is.
Rush 6 effect is when your
becomes a
defense is higher
cleaver.
than them, you increase damage by 20%.
Oh, that's
Did you
huge.
say she becomes a cleaver, Gabbro?
More so than she already is.
I'm sorry, she's a cleaver at R0. She's just a freight train at R6 is the problem.
So this will be the final PvP tier list for R6 priority tier list. So this point of view is really just because we are all very high end. It's like 1 0.1 percentage above. So our point of view, this is our own point of view, and especially from Gabriel, she have a lot of different tests from Shimmer Esper as well. So this tier list will be our own point of view. So if you have something that you don't agree with that, or you can have question with it, feel free to comment
I don't
down.
agree with Embla being rushed to R6. Sushi's fine at R6, so I don't know if I agree with Embla being rushed. But yeah.
Yeah,
that's all.
The Fushi Embla part we discussed is like because the stack is easier to trigger, it spreads more damage. Basically, yeah, that's it. But yeah, that's
Gabriel,
all this
if you need
tier list for
if you need
today.
8 every time, it's bad.
So hope you guys enjoy the video, and thank you Choni, Gabriel, and King for joining the video today for this recording to make this tier list a lot more accurate than usual. So
Thanks,
see you guys
Artiar.
in the next video. Bye bye.
Oh,
Bye bye.
Bye. Have fun.
Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Gen MP, Rosas15, Mocode Reguli, The Bluest Trelane, Pigeon Roulette, Kemi, thank you so much for the support. And for the supporter and patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Code Wilderness, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwatts, Rimu, Choni, Von Hexa, Rawson Bessie, Antonio Winterspoon, Marilyn Williams, and Uncle Chad. Thank you so much for the support. And that's not all. Also special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat, the latest 10. So special thanks to Pigeon Roulette, Agni, Ziggy, Code Wilderness, Choni, and Rosas15. Thank you so much for the support, and hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.